Destiny 2 is a unique FPS game as it breaks away from the sole expectation for PvP to be its longevity. It does have a PvP, but it also has PvE and a third mode which blends the two together called Gambit. In this video, I will be going over what Gambit is and the rules I follow to get ahead in the game mode. Let's start with what Gambit is. In Gambit, 2 teams of 4 drop in separate arenas, battling various enemies within their own space. When the enemies are killed, they drop motes. Players gather the motes, then deposit them in a bank in the middle of the arena. Unlike most multiplayer modes, you don't fight your opponent head on, rather race against them. The first team to bank 75 motes and take down their boss wins. The twist with Gambit comes with how players can mess with the other team. Banking motes in quantities of 5, 10 and 15 will send extra enemies called blockers to the other team's banking area. Blockers lock down the opponent's bank, making it impossible to deposit any motes until they are defeated. They can even steal motes from the other team if you have 2 or more blockers up. At every 25 motes banked, a player can invade their opponent's arena, giving them a chance to kill members of the other team. Gambit was introduced in Forsaken, and with many changes is still hated by many. I think mainly because Dingbat and Doofus always show their face in Gambit. Doofus is that guy who takes the heavy ammo and doesn't invade, and Dingbat is that guy who runs around with 15 motes until an invader or an ogre slaps his booty cheeks. If you're that guy, then great. You have a chance right now to hear the 10 commandments of Gambit on how to be a true Gambiteer. By ignoring the 10 commandments of Gambit, you will be dragging your team to hell. A hell of a time to win, that is. Anyway, let's start with the commandment number 1. This one seems pretty obvious. Well, because it is, as you can't do any of the other commandments while dead. If you die in Gambit, you can no longer shoot enemies and you lose all the motes you were carrying. They don't become accessible to allies and they disappear forever. Best way to tackle this problem is by understanding spawn locations for each wave. There really isn't that many variants in Gambit, and if you keep a watchful eye and learn where all the ogres, wizards, cabal turrets, shriekers and hydras spawn, you'll have a much better time. The worst thing in Gambit to do, apart from dying with motes, is not clearing the bank. If you don't clear the bank from blockers, you can no longer bank motes. Plus, you're at risk of losing all the motes already in the bank. If the opponent send 2 blockers at the same time, you'll start to lose your banked motes. A big play in Gambit is to bank a bunch of motes at the same time, spawning in blockers and invading to protect the blockers from dying. You don't start with any heavy ammo in Gambit. Instead, there's a heavy ammo crate near the bank that will respawn on a cooldown throughout the match. The most powerful tool in the invader's arsenal is their power weapon, and if you're stealing heavy from your invader, you're only limiting your team's attacking capability. Remember, only a doofus grabs heavy and doesn't invade. This is an easy one. Make sure you're depositing any motes you're carrying before jumping into the portal when invading. If you're killed over there, it's like if you died in your own arena. You lose all your motes. Plus the bank is right there next to the portal, so why not just throw them in? I haven't named that guy yet, but if you got one, drop it in the comments below. Smart teams know how to force where an invader spawns. The only reason this is possible is because the spawn points are fixed and follow a strict method of choosing. The invader will always spawn at one of 3 locations that is furthest away from the guardians, and a great strategy is to just let your team do their killing of mobs on one of the 3 sides, while sitting on another, aiming a sniper at the 3rd location ready for the invader. This will allow you to kill the invader without them even having a chance to fight. Everyone loves a dirty dog on their team. I've seen countless Guardians run to a new wave after just coming from one to die and lose 10 to 14 motes. I've even seen Dingbat do it while holding 15. You shouldn't always try to save up to 15 motes every single time. as this is a real risk for an enemy invader to make you drop them all. It's also a really good idea to bank in sync with another teammate. While two blockers are on your opponent's bank, you'll steal their motes. You'll never get 25 motes on your first wave, so it's very important to clear out the first two waves before handing in any motes, or any motes you bank are at risk of being stolen and giving your opponent an early opportunity to invade. After you kill the first two waves, if you're ahead, I say bank them and have your invader go in and try and wipe them out before they clear the bank. If you're even, the team who tends to bank first is at a disadvantage, as blockers can be cleared out fast. Then when enemies send in their blockers, you will be having your mote stolen and are forced to clear the bank quickly before the invader breathes down your neck. If you're behind on the second wave, pray to God you clear out that bank and get those motes in before the invader wipes you out. You will also be able to see how many motes your teammates have. In a team mode like Gambit, there is no reason to get competitive and stealing motes away from your pals. Communicate when you can, and make sure to watch how many motes your friends have. If you see that one of your teammates has 14 motes and you only have 6, and there's one mote on the ground, if you pick up the mote instead of them, it's a difference of having a medium blocker instead of a large blocker, and in both scenarios, you will still only have a small. An easy way around this is having one of your teammates not collecting motes at all, and just focusing on killing. When the Primeval spawns, he will also spawn with 2 wizard mini-bosses, at each third of his health, called envoys. Since you're not banking motes anymore, you might think you can just ignore them. But if you kill the wizards, you get a stack of Primeval Slayer buff, with each stack increasing the damage to the boss by 20 to 30%. So kill as many as you can. If you're losing big early, don't lose focus. Between the endless invasions during the Primeval phase and the increased motes from glowing enemies that spawn when you're behind, you're never truly out of the game. But you'll need some big invasions to clutch it up. Each time an enemy wave spawns, it will come with a wide variety of enemies. While your instinct might be to go hard and collect motes, it's important to have a little patience. Focus on the big enemies first, as they are the most likely to kill you. I hope you guys, girls, dingbats and doofuses enjoyed this video, and learned something new on your path to being the best Gambiteer around. In the rest of the video, I will be showing you what I target first on each map, variant and wave. This is Gold Magikarp signing out. Bloop bloop bloop.